Thank you, Mr Speaker, and can I thank you for your remarks of welcome to Sammy Woodhouse, a very brave woman who has done the right thing in waiving her anonymity. We must all call out crimes of sexual violence. Those responsible must be held to account. Mr Speaker, we were promised strong and stable. What we have is a government in crisis. A government that has lost 2 Brexit secretaries, a Home Secretary, a Foreign Secretary, a Work and Pension Secretary. A government that has suffered from 3 consecutive defeats in just 2 hours. The first government to do so, Mr Speaker, in 40 years. And now a government found to be in contempt of Parliament. Is it time that the Prime Minister took responsibility? A responsibility for concealing the facts on her Brexit deal from members in this House and the public. Will she take responsibility?
Prime Minister.
He is absolutely wrong about that. We have not concealed the facts on the Brexit deal from members of this House. What he will see is that the legal position that was set out on Monday in the 34-page document, together with the statement made and the answers to questions given by the Attorney General on Monday, very clearly set out the legal position.
Ian Blackford.
Mr Speaker, that is an incredibly disappointing response from the Prime Minister. The facts have had to be dragged out of this government by Parliament. Mr Speaker, this morning we have seen the detail of the legal advice. We have seen the facts that the government tried to hide. Mr Speaker, this government is giving Northern Ireland permanent membership of the single market and the customs union. The legal advice is clear. It states, despite statements in the protocol that is not intended to be permanent, in international law, the protocol would endure indefinitely. Since the Prime Minister returned from Brussels with her deal, the Prime Minister has been misleading the House, inadvertently or otherwise. The Prime Minister must explain...
Order. There can be no suggestion of otherwise. The Right Honourable Gentleman must make it clear that there is no suggestion that the government is misleading the House deliberately. There can be no question of that. If the Right Honourable Gentleman wants to use the word inadvertently, which people do now and again, he can, but there must be no ambiguity on the point. And I ask the Right Honourable Gentleman to clarify that matter and to order. No, I don't need any advice from anyone. I know exactly what I'm doing, and the Right Honourable Gentleman must comply. Mr Ian Blackford.
Mr Speaker, I did use the word inadvertently, and I repeat it. That since the Prime Minister has returned from Brussels with her deal, the Prime Minister has been misleading the House, perhaps inadvertently. The Prime Minister...